Well, this one is coming as a bit of a surprise, so much so that even I just found out about this earlier today. And so I figured, why not? Let's cover it and see what this is all about, because in truth, even I haven't gone through this at all. In fact, I just opened the page, I hit the record button, and here we are. But seeing that the next major update is sort of around the corner, I would say within the next 1 or 2 weeks, we should be getting the first dev blog. And this more or less gives us a small taste of what's really to come. But from what I've been told, this might just be a very interesting couple of updates before the year is out. Now, as always, please keep in mind, this is my opinion. I'm not going to say everything is right or wrong for that matter. It's just going to be based off my own personal experiences and from what I've learned over the last 10 plus years of playing this game. So with that being said, let's dive right into it, shall we? Community update number 8, responses and what's coming. Okay, so disclaimer, of course, their own, that is. While we're excited to be able to share the work in progress information before dev blogs, the dev server, and the full release, please bear in mind that new features, vehicles, and maps mentioned in this news are subject to change. So basically what I tell you guys all the time, take everything with a gigantic grain of salt. Now moving down, we see following up on our recent nation's announcements. Well, this should be interesting. They recently spoke about how they implemented subtrees, which is a great thing. I've absolutely loved seeing South Africa, Thailand, so on and so forth. We had considered adding Singaporean vehicles to the Chinese tree to provide it with greater variety and gameplay diversity with some vehicles that were not previously possible there, as mentioned in the previous post. This was a consideration and that all our current ideas will not necessarily be implemented. Well, I think I know where this is going. Ultimately, these plans were and are not set in stone. We've not gone over your feedback and considered it within our plans. We'll be looking to place Singaporean vehicles in a number of trees. Oh, that's interesting. We might be getting stuff for other nations as well, likely Japan too, or maybe even Italy. I think. Most likely with their vehicles going to whatever tree is most applicable and relevant on a case-by-case basis, which makes a lot of sense, i.e. German Leopard 2A4M, which is Canadian, should be going to the British tech tree, not the German. It's all over the place for the most part. Oh, this is interesting. We saw your comments about suggestions for the Israeli tree, and they currently have plans to expand the Israeli tree to include Greece and Cyprus. That's interesting because let's be honest here, we have too damn many Magashis in the game and it drives me absolutely nuts. They're considering including some of these Singaporean vehicles to Israel as well. That's going to be interesting. I'm going to have to look into that myself. If you guys have any suggestions on what type of vehicles are going to be, well, recommendations, I guess, I can try to forward it to them as best as I can through my channels. And just let me know in the comments, please. I'll do my best. Many interesting vehicles to play and straighten the lineups, blah, blah, blah. More Indonesian vehicles. And shortly after, we also plan to introduce some aircraft from Malaysia to strengthen the aviation tree a bit more. Cool. Or China, this should be interesting. Our current priority will be to add domestic vehicles to help bolster the existing available roster. We can share that we're working on a new SAM system for China, which is interesting, actually. I'm curious to see what they'll be getting for sure. New top-tier aircraft, which they need, to be honest, because the current existing one is just, it's good, but it's not really great for Kaz. Not that it matters because top-tier air is really hard to play right now when playing in GRB. Among various other vehicle developments that you'll see in the short term, we'll be also expanding upon options provided by Pakistani vehicles to help expand the tree alongside the planned domestic vehicles, which makes a lot of sense. China and Pakistan have a long history of collaboration, so it does make a lot of sense. If you guys kept up with the recent military developments over the last couple of months where India and Pakistan kind of went head-to-head for a little bit, it was kind of interesting to see the Rafale fail as much as it did. Plus, a popular US-made battle tank to also bolster the ranks, which, listen, I'm going to give you my own thoughts on the matter, okay? I'm upset over the fact that the VT4 is not coming as part of the Japanese tech tree. I mean, yeah, I get the reason why, the political implication, which, let's be honest here, if you're playing War Thunder and you're politically biased, I feel really bad for you. Honestly, that is not a fun way to live, in my opinion. I, on the other hand, don't really mind seeing a Taiwanese M1A2T, which is its designation, which is a Set V3 basically, I'm pretty sure it's a Set V3, be introduced as part of the Chinese lineup because it's realistic, it's fun, and it adds variety, and hopefully it helps bolster the Americans just a little bit more, because imagine the best Abrams variant sitting for the Chinese. That would be wild. And they also have plans for a standalone Korean research tree nation with vehicles from South and North Korea. Dude, this has me excited. This right here is so unbelievably exciting because I've been asking for that for years. Like, dude, I'm gonna say this in my own words. Yeah, I get why South Korea might not want North Korean tanks because of blah, blah, blah political issues, right? But come on, who are you gonna piss off? The North Koreans? Having a unified Korean tech tree is something I've been asking for years, and I would love to see the tanks that they have, including, sort of, is it a bootleg looking Abrams? No, that's Iran, isn't it? Which would still be wild anyways. But up next is a preview of the major update. Ooh, this one has me excited. We're now in the final 3 months of the year with 2 major updates planned before 2026. Let's see, unique vehicles planned. Oh, this is interesting. Is that a stabilized T-34? I'll check it out in a quick second. With a name relating to Native American tribes. That's interesting. I can't think of it off the top of my head. Let me know in the comments, please. It's also the capital of a large American state. Can you guess what it is? Holy crap. Dude, my American demographics is pretty poor right now. I'm sorry, okay? Too much Battlefield 6. I just got done playing before I made this video too, and it was fun sniping in the damn thing. Next up, we have the addition of several Mosquito variants in the previous major update. Today, we're happy to announce that the highly anticipated variant, the modified Mosquito B Mark 16. Well, this should be a little interesting to those who have been looking forward to it, that is. We're excited to see players use this in battle, especially as it has been requested for many years now. Cool. Back in April this year, we briefly mentioned a T-3485 with a stabilizer in the Legend of Victory news post, which I was wondering where that went. I thought it was an event vehicle. And ever since, we know many of you have been wondering where on earth it is. So today, we're finally able to confirm it'll finally be coming to the game in the upcoming major update. So you guys know for a fact we are getting this in the next update. Stabilized T-3485 sitting at, my guess is near 7.0. I would say around 6.3 to 7.0 would be my guess. Let's see, in the previous major update, they updated the Tiger II number 150 visual model and mentioned that the Tiger II would also receive one in the future. Basically model updates, which I'm completely okay with. And lastly, they're going to be adding an Italian squadron vehicle. Oh my God, it is a better looking Wall-E. I've never made a video on one. Can you believe that? And we're getting this? I hope it's amphibious. It doesn't look amphibious, but that would be wild. Damage control window for Naval. I'll be honest with you guys, I'm not going to focus on this simply because Naval is not my strong suit. If you guys want to have some good information, the only person I know who plays quite regularly is Napalm Rat. He's one hell of a captain, I guess. He's really good at what he does, and he's very scary, so go watch his stuff if you guys want to. Moving forward just a little bit more damage control stuff, yada yada. Parameters of weapons and vehicles inside the game. Okay, the game features highly complex vehicles, sensors, and weapons, blah, 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 blah. And most of their parameters are currently hidden from players. That's interesting. This isn't because we don't want to disclose the data, however, but because it's a major challenge to figure out how to display it conveniently and clearly, especially for new players. They're currently working on a mechanism that allows us to display complex features in the game's interface. I'll be honest with you, like I like this idea, right? Here's a mock-up window of a design that we have planned, etc. So how shells work over distance. Listen, I can't go too far into detail because even I don't fully understand it myself, but I can tell you this right now. I love the level of complexity in the game simply because, wow, it's actually interesting. Okay, I'm excited for this one. Simply because generally all you have to do is just range a target, put your cursor on 800, 500, 600, whatever, right? And then just lob it and you're good to go. Although there are some instances with artillery, and this is where I think this is going to be coming in from, where just because you range it, you still got to play a little bit with the, there's an effect for it, and I can't remember the name. Basically, the curvature of the Earth, more or less, in the game, it does apply a little bit too, not as much as you think. So just because you range a location doesn't necessarily mean it's going to land right there, and you got to compensate for the drop just a little bit. I do it with my artillery, I do it when cheesing out the BMD4s, etc., and it kind of works out to good effect. But more about this in a separate video, separate post. Free daily backups. Yes, please, Gaijin, we've been needing this, okay? More free backups for players to stop using the excuse of, I have nothing else to play with in my lineup, so I'm going to leave after the first death. I'm guilty of that myself, okay? So trust me, no hypocrisy here. Let's see. In ground, naval, and air battles, War Thunder is a game that requires a lineup for you to reach your full potential in battle. No shit, Sherlock. However, some players may not have a full lineup. I'm not saying that towards Gaijin. I'm saying that as a general thing, right? One way to help is by oh my god, I can't even English. Is by using backups. However, they themselves can only be received as a random reward or have to be purchased. Because of this, we want to make sure want to make them more widespread and easier to use in order to introduce and teach more players about this useful for both the player and their team mechanic. I love that. A useful feature for both the player and the team. Yeah, you can say that again. Okay, they'll be adding a few backups that players can use for free in battle. This will be just one shared number of backups that can be used across all nations. I don't really like that idea. Instead, why not just give everyone a free backup no matter what? No, but then that would make the grind a bit easier, and we can't have that, of course. Free-to-play game after all. These free backups are not added to your inventory. Instead, they will simply be something you can use while in battle. Once you use them up, you'll need to wait until the next day, where they will be then reset and replenished. Which does make a lot of sense, and I can respect that. We plan to have this in the near future, perhaps not in the upcoming major, but it is in development, and when it's ready for release, they will announce it. Cool. And I guess that's it. They're going to be talking about the events right now, the final 3 months of the year, which is typically War Thunder's busiest time with major updates, events, and the game's anniversary, which, by the way, don't forget to use my discount link for it. You don't save money, but I do get paid too, and I'd like to have a nice Christmas as well. Cool, cool. Anyways, after the EFE event, they'll be having a typical Dreams Come True event, this time for an aircraft. Okay, hopefully it's for a jet for the high tier environment. That would be fun. I said high tier, not top tier. And that's honestly really it. I'm going to pick this up myself too, but what really has me interested is the fact that we are going to be getting a unified Korean tech tree, and excuse me, not the Americans, the Chinese are going to be getting an Abrams, which I know some people might be a little upset over it. Again, I understand the whole reasoning as to why some players may, okay? Yeah, sure. Do I want to see my beautiful Abrams added to what is our real-world adversaries tech tree? No, but this is a game. I am a Russian main. I play China pretty regularly for the most part, and I want to see more vehicles be added for everyone, regardless of my own political stances at all, but also a standalone Korean tech tree. That is going to be interesting. I don't fully expect it to be on par with that of other nations, or that if even the minor nations like Israel. I guess Sweden kind of counts, not really anymore. They're kind of full now. But Israel is definitely a very small nation, and to have another nation to kind of complement it a little bit with the size of the tech tree is going to make things wildly interesting, in my opinion. But with all that being said, I want to know what you guys think about everything here. I do apologize for this talking head video. I know it was very long. I tried to summarize as much as I could, but again, this was the first time I was reading this, and again, I'd love to know. Jump into my Discord, add me if you'd like, jump into the general channel, or perhaps even, hell, at me here in the comments section. I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts on it, and I'll share with you some more, let's say, not so YouTube friendly versions of what you heard today, which, you know, I gotta be family friendly to some degree. But either way, I'd still love to hear what you guys have to say. So with all that being said, I hope you guys did enjoy this talking head video. You'll have another release probably tomorrow from the time that you are watching this, or perhaps even the day after. It really depends. I have some Battlefield 6 to get back to because it has been a hell of an experience, and I am absolutely loving it. 30 hours in, and just can't wait to play some more. So I will definitely see you guys in the next one.